All right, it is July 26th. It's Friday after work. It's almost newsletter writing time. Yeah, it's been a really cool week. So, uh, let's see, work this week. Maybe work wasn't too cool. I don't know. I don't think there was anything that exciting for work. We have the big security wave for us at Microsoft, which is it's good to see. It's so I've written about this before, where it's like you have such a large company and it's so easy to, if there's a gap anywhere, someone's like, oh, like, Microsoft or whatever the company is doesn't care about security. And it's like, man, that when when the company gets so big, the surface area for these types of things is like ridiculous, right? So it's really good to see that Microsoft is doing a lot of work on the security front. We're part of that with my team, so kind of living and breathing that. But yeah, we have basically they're switching all this stuff over. We have these dedicated machines to be doing sort of debug work with data center machines. So just like this really big paradigm shift for us. So we all have to get these machines set up, and it's like pretty critical timing for me because I go on call on Monday, and none of the tools that we have traditionally will work unless we're using these new machines. I really have to yawn. I'm trying to hold it in. I think I need to do like a power nap before my newsletter. It's only like 7:30 right now, but I don't know, just like last hour or so, I'm really feeling it. So like holding in these yawns as I'm talking. So anyway, yeah, like that's a big thing that's kind of going on. And I kind of gotta pick up the slack because I really need that to be in place. I went to go do it today. I carved out most of the day today, and then like right at the beginning, like the first step, the machine itself is like, hey, this isn't assigned to anyone. And I'm like, what do you mean it's not assigned to anyone? So I had to go figure that out. So basically I missed the whole day of setting this thing up because of these steps. See, there it is. My goodness. Yeah, it's definitely going to be a power nap in the newsletter time. So that's work. I want to move on from work. This week was super cool. Actually, one more thing for work. We had something that we're calling Quiet Week. So usually we would have been doing what we call Fix, Hack, Learn, which is not quite a quiet week, but you get to do other things aside from your normal tasks. And because of this huge security wave, instead of just giving us like the leadership is just trying to make sure that we're having a little bit of a breather. So they wanted to carve out some time. They called it Quiet Week. That way we're not like forced to go to meetings and stuff that are regular cadence, just like have a breather kind of thing. And so it was kind of coincidence, convenient that this lined up, but I got tagged on LinkedIn on this thread to be able to go. They were looking for speakers for a .NET meetup, but it was in Texas. So this is super cool. There's a developer and like social media person. His name is Danny Thompson. He's out of Texas and he's organizing this. So we're not in like the same spaces, I guess. There's another guy. What's going on here? We're not in the same spaces, just for the tech we build and stuff like that, but they usually do more like front end or like JavaScript style talks and stuff at their meetups. It's tech agnostic, but that seems to be one of the common things. So they hosted this .NET night, and yeah, I got in touch with them because someone, William Ray, I think, is the person who tagged me on LinkedIn to get me on that thread. And Danny was like, hey, yeah, we'd love to have you, but like, heads up, like we're not paying people, like there's no budget for this kind of stuff. And I remember talking to my wife, and I was like, this is a pretty cool opportunity, but like it's basically a one night in Texas kind of thing. And she was like, well, why don't you do it? Like, what's holding you back? And part of me is thinking like I'm not getting paid, and like I gotta like I gotta pay out of pocket to go do this. Like, and it's one night. It's like it's kind of like a lot of overhead to do it, but I think it was cool because I think she saw like this is a good opportunity for you. Like you were talking about maybe doing some other things like trying to speak, which historically I've been afraid of. So this was like a kind of a good opportunity for me to test it out. One more yawn. Oh, see, I'm That narcolepsy is kicking in. But yeah, so like I had her support, which is really cool, and she said like, you know, you're doing all this stuff, like you have the means to be able to go buy your own ticket, get a hotel for a night, like, you know, you're selling courses, like that was the point of all this, like, and I've, you know, I've mentioned that in these vlogs before, is like I want to take the money that I make from course sales and put it back in. So yeah, I was like, you know what? Like it's not like it was crazy expensive or anything. Like the flight was a couple $100, hotel was like 100-ish bucks, a couple Ubers and some food. Like really not that bad. For now, for one night to like go do something that's kind of like work, sure. Lot of money for that. But um definitely think worth it. Was super happy to do it. I was nervous right before getting onto stage, like on to speak, and then even as soon as I got up on the podium and was plugged in and like started talking, was totally fine. So this is a huge improvement for me. I think historically, even years back, like I feel pretty good once I'm like midway in the groove. But honestly, the biggest thing was just like I was nervous right before getting on stage. I wasn't nervous at all leading up to this, which is amazing for me. Was just like when I knew it was my turn right after the or the previous person was wrapping up, I was like, my heart's kind of going fast. Getting onto the stage is going fast. Plugged in, pressed play on the slideshow, and was like, I feel fine. So that was super cool. Really happy. I had people coming up after, and they were pretty jazzed about it. I had people that messaged me on LinkedIn and got connected, and they were really happy with it. So overall, awesome experience. The talk I mentioned, the talk was on plugin architecture, which is obviously something that's very close to me. So it was great to talk about it. So yeah, that was kind of earlier this week. I have to go on call on starting Monday. I'll be back up, but I might have to cancel my live stream, which is kind of crappy because our on call is pretty busy, and it's really not fair if I'm like live streaming and someone needs support because our on call starts at 6 a.m. and I would be streaming like from 7 to 9 on Tuesday morning. So like I don't think it's okay. So I'm gonna have to probably have to cancel. And now the other thing too is like I don't know if I'm gonna go to the office next week because that's time. That's like what, up to an hour each way. Like if I, you know, on average it's not quite so bad, but up to an hour each way in the morning and in the evening. And I either have to do it before my on-call shift, which would be ridiculous, or after, which would be ridiculous. And like I don't think I'm going to do that, so I might stay home next week. But the point here was the live stream I might have to cancel, which sucks, but that's how it is. The Monday night live stream is at 9, which is after my on-call shift, so I'll do that. I don't think I'm going to move the Tuesday one. Like I'm not going to like do it Tuesday night because realistically, I'm not going to have time. Like it's not fair to my other uh, sort of what's the word I'm looking for? Drawing a blank. My other obligations, right? It's not fair to my other obligations if I'm just chewing up more time. So I might just cancel, which sucks. But that's that. The newsletter and live stream I'll do Monday night are for the same topic that I presented in Dallas. I'll do it on plugin architecture. So I'm excited about that. I might see. I don't know how I'm going to do it. I might put up my presentation on Gumroad and people can download it, but it's kind of tricky because if it doesn't have the notes, like it's not really meant to be consumed that way. So I don't know if I can just put the PowerPoint up on Gumroad for free for people to download, but I'll see. I'll see about that. What else? So, uh, kicked off. This one's got to stay under wraps for the topic, but kicked off another conversation for courses. So, officially will be working on 2 Dometrain courses. I think I mentioned this last time, but I had a kickoff conversation about the second course is probably what I'll say. So that's pretty cool. It was like a 2-hour talk this morning. This is probably going to be something that kind of, I don't want to say like life changing. That probably I mean, it is life changing. It just sounds like it's an exaggeration, but I think it is like a life changing kind of thing, like an opportunity. So, pretty excited about that. But it's going to mean that my first course that I was doing for Dometrain already probably needs to get pushed out a little bit further, which is fine. So I'm going to be doing two courses at the same time for Dometrain. I'll be prioritizing this new one. I've already talked to Nick, and he's on the same page. Like, if we have to push out the first one, that's fine. So I don't want to drop the ball on it. Like, I don't just want to say, oh, like, 'cause it's like halfway done, including the editing, and I don't just want to like say, oops, like, and forget about it. So try to keep the momentum going, just at a slower pace. And then that brings me, probably want to talk about BrandGhost, because we've been dealing with Facebook to get our app approved. Just an absolute nightmare. Absolute nightmare. I cannot believe that this is a business that operates this way and it's such a big company. Like, I'm absolutely baffled. But anyway, not my problem. Finally got approved. And then we had to go do yet another approval step. It's incomprehensible. And it's just, I have no words for it. But we did it. And that means now that people that aren't developer accounts can go register on BrandGhost with Facebook. Finally. So that'll be cool. But we are going to, basically, we're meeting this weekend to talk about our launch. So we'll start opening up the waitlist, which is super exciting. Like, I've been using it. It's not, I have an alternate solution that I cobbled together over the last 18 months or so. That's what I've been using. And then as we've been building BrandGhost, as it's coming together, I've been moving my stuff over to BrandGhost because it's way more powerful. It's so cool. Like, I'm genuinely excited. It's just, if you've ever had to rewrite software before, when you do a rewrite, what happens is that you go from having like whatever X level of functionality to like less than that. And a lot of the time, depending on how people do rewrites, it's kind of like it's almost like you have nothing until you have everything, or you think you have everything, and almost every single time you're missing things, which is why rewrites are usually such a terrible approach, because it's like you don't realize how much work it is to get you back to feature parity, and you don't realize all the features you're technically missing. It's crazy. So this is kind of like that situation. It's being rewritten. So I knew this going into it because the sort of cobbled together solution. Oh my goodness. I got yawns, I got sneezes. What else is coming? the the cobbled together solution is, I knew it was temporary, right? I knew building it was going to be like, this isn't the permanent solution, but it got me pretty far until it didn't. And now what's really cool is, even though we don't have all of the platforms that I'm using, we should be able to add them pretty easily. We've kind of been aside from Facebook, and Meta has been just a total nightmare, but to get the posting and stuff working should be pretty easy. Even just to give you an example, like, we've been waiting on Facebook, and Instagram is going to be the same kind of thing, just because Meta is such a pain in the butt. But we've had LinkedIn, Twitter, Threads is going to be probably the same kind of bullcrap, whatever, just because the Meta suite is terrible. But like Blue Sky, for example, Blue Sky is not a big platform, but we were just looking, and it's like, yep, like I already have code that will post to Blue Sky that I've been using. So we have it, but it's not integrated fully end to end, but we were just looking, and to integrate it fully end to end is like trivial now. So we should be able to start onboarding platforms, which is super cool. Now, as that's getting done, we're going to be building functionality that I have not yet had using my own approach, which means I have not yet had tools to do this properly. And that's going to be basically an aggregate social media feed, which sounds, you might be like, well, who cares? Why does that matter? When you're creating content and you're trying to do it, even pick LinkedIn as a single platform, as a content creator, you have work to do in order for your own content to be recognized and visible. I wish that I could just post content and not do anything else, because I would much rather spend my time creating educational content, but that's literally not how almost all of these social media platforms work, which is very unfortunate. But I guess it's to prevent like botting and just like blasting content. So, what you need to like on the only one I can think of that's not totally like this is like YouTube and TikTok. Now, for all these other platforms, you literally need to be going onto other people's posts and commenting. If you don't, you get no visibility. Good example, Facebook. I'm not actively on Facebook. I post there every day. I've been doing it for 18 plus months consistently. My page does not grow at all. If I go onto Facebook and I start commenting on things, I can watch my follower count go up by like a noticeable percentage every week. Just that's how it works. So the aggregate news feed or the aggregate social feed is going to be so valuable because we don't have to flip between apps. Oh, I'm falling apart. Let's add one more. um, so you can stay inside of BrandGhost, and what we're going to be able to do is prioritize the posts that you need to interact with, because there's a strategy. You need to be able to engage on your own posts when people are commenting, right? So liking people's comments, writing them back, things like that. You have an inner circle of people that you're networking with and doing content creation with. Even if you're not like collaborating on content, you're still doing interactions together. You should be interacting with their stuff. And the problem is that it's not just LinkedIn. Like it's LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, like you Blue Sky, just name Threads, you name the platform, you need to be doing that there. So, this aggregate news feed is going to make it a single source we can prioritize where you can look at and then spend your time effectively, because one of the challenges is like if I were to go open up LinkedIn right now, 5 to 10% of posts are things that would make sense for me to engage with. So it is a complete like, and I don't mean this like I'm above other people. It's a complete waste of time to be scrolling through LinkedIn and trying to get to the people that I need to interact with. I might as well have a list of people, search their profile and go look at it. But that's so tedious. It's ridiculous. And I literally don't have time to do that. And people shouldn't have to spend time like wasted like that. So if you're going to engage with people, we should be able to navigate you to those profiles and the content to go do it. So we're building that next, which will be a game changer because like I haven't even had that. So very excited. Going to talk about last minute kind of MVP things to make sure we're all feeling comfortable. But yeah, it's been feeling really good. I'm very excited and kind of see what the next steps are. But I'll leave it at that. I'm going to power nap, figure out if I got any more sneezes left, and then maybe a little bit of caffeine. It's a Friday. It's a Friday. I've been holding strong at 400 milligrams a day, but I might have a little tonight, which is a little too late for caffeine now. But kind of just man, well this is why. I I did one of my software engineering interviews for the podcast. I woke up at 4:30 this morning. That's my fault for opening up my schedule to take the first call at 5 a.m. But yeah, I woke up at 4:30 this morning. That's why I'm tired right now. Like 100%. So I'm not going to beat myself up for a little bit more caffeine and a pretty late power nap. What do you call it? My narcolepsy lets me fall asleep like very quick. And I don't know if it's narcolepsy, but when I have naps, actually, anytime I fall asleep, I sleep for about 10 to 15 minutes, maybe like even 8 to 15 minutes. And this happens every night when I go to sleep. I sleep for that amount of time. I go into REM sleep instantly. So I fall asleep having extremely vivid dreams for that period of time, and then I wake myself up. Not on purpose, it's not by choice. It just literally happens every single time. So if I go have a power nap right now, I guarantee you I don't even have to set an alarm, and I will wake up in probably 8 to 11 minutes just on my own. Like vivid dreams like the whole time. So it's kind of weird, but like even like an 8-minute nap for me just makes me feel like a little bit more refreshed. So I'm going to do that. A little bit of caffeine. I'm going to get this newsletter going, which should be pretty easy because it's going to be based on my presentation. And yeah, then I'm making course material all weekend. But that's that. Thanks, folks. Appreciate all your support. I'll see you next time. Take care.